And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is back in session. Here for another guest speaker episode at AOA Studios. If you're an artist, podcaster, or content creator of any kind, be sure to reach out to us at aoastudios.org to book your session or service today. And I'm joined today by an incredibly special guest. She is a vocalist, singer, songwriter from the Boston area. You've probably seen her working with the JMC crew on any of their shows or some of their music. She's been well outside for quite a long time, and we've been wanting to have her on for a bit. We finally are doing it. Please welcome none other than Faybee to the Turntable Teachers Podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Of course, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. We've been obviously acquainted for a long time, and this is becoming a running theme for a lot of these podcast episodes this year. It's all people that we've been talking about. Oh yeah, we should do that episode for 2-3 years, and we're finally this year sitting down.
So many people and so much going on, and it's happening now, so I'm really excited to just catch up and talk music and all things.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
How you been? How's things with you?
I'm good, honestly. It's been a wild journey. I cannot, first of all, believe April's almost over.
Crazy. As we're recording this, right? It's back into April.
I don't know how we got here so fast. But a lot's been going on. I've just been keeping really busy with work and projects and
definitely,
videos and new music and several other things too, honestly. So
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
That's great. Glad to hear it. Yeah. Well, you got plenty of new music that you've been dropping over the last about 6 months that we definitely got to talk about, and maybe what's coming up in the near future as well with you. But we first like to start off with a segment we call The Objective, where we get to know a little bit about you and your background. So my first question to you is, I guess a question I ask most artists when they come on is sort of obviously you're a singer, you write songs. Where did all of that sort of start for you in terms of when you started to feel like, oh, maybe I actually do have a little bit of talent or at least passion in this. You know, sometimes I feel like that's where it starts, is the passion. The talent might be there too, but then initially maybe you sort of mold that talent as you go. But, for you, when was it sort of oh, maybe I might want to start actually recording songs, or realizing that you do have a singing voice and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, well, I guess ever since I was a little girl, I always liked performing for my parents. I think a lot of us did that growing up, choreographed something, and I was like, you have to listen to it. And it was probably some inappropriate song, like Toxic by Britney Spears, and you had no idea what it was even talking about. But I always loved doing that. And then in middle school, I got into theater when I was in 5th grade. And musical theater and regular plays and stuff. So since I was in 5th grade, I was doing that up until college even. And so I always loved performing, and I always loved the stage and acting and singing and dancing and stuff. But college comes around and you're like, okay, gotta get serious about my life and all that stuff, and all your dreams are just dreams, and it doesn't make money, so just focus on the books, whatever. So I did that, but literally my last year of college, I did so many internships. I was really focused on getting serious and doing that. And then when I did all these internships, they were all these office jobs. I graduated with a communication degree, and something just came over me, and I was like, whoa, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. I need to figure something out, something just more creative and something that's more me. And if I'm gonna have an office job, I need to at least have something that I'm working on that I'm really passionate about too. And I've always loved music. And at that time too, I remember listening to Timi O's music a lot. And I don't know if you guys know this, but me and Timi go way back, since like second grade. We like graduated school together in
I
the
did
same
not know
class.
that.
Yeah.
That's how far back you guys go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
yeah. So
Because I know, obviously, like I know Timi and Lucas's sort of background with, like,
Yeah.
of course, them meeting in college. But you were at Worcester State, right? You didn't. Or,
yeah, I went to Worcester State
so-
University.
and they were at obviously
Lowell.
Lowell. So.
Yeah. And but yeah, me and Tim have known each other. And I was listening to his music at the time, and I was like, oh, like it'd just be so cool if I could make music like this. And I just like started. I was always like a writer for sure. Like I have a writing minor and everything. I like love writing anything. I like loved research writing. I loved creative writing, poetry. So I got really into poetry, and then it morphed into songwriting. And then I remember being like, well, I know I have a singing voice. Like, I'm not like, I know I wasn't like Beyonce, but I was like, I have a pretty singing voice and I can write music. So like, why not make songs? And I like Timmy's doing it. Like Timmy's been doing it since he was like 11. I remember him rapping in class. Like literally, it was like, oh my God, we go way back.
Big shout out to Timi O.
Big shout out.
Who's an alumni of the Turntable
Yes.
Teachers. He's been on before. We'll get John
Yes.
again soon, Timi.
Absolutely. And I remember reaching out to him too and being like, well, actually it's not exactly how it started. I actually started with Chris, who has his own studio now too, called Snakebrook. I like went into the studio with him and just like did a couple songs. And then I reached out to Timi and I was like, hey, I'm starting to do like music and stuff. Like, I really love your stuff. And he was just like so willing and open to be like, I'm happy to like help you if you need any help. I'm like, yes, I desperately need help. So he would come to the studio with me. And then he was like, I have a producer that I think like you would really vibe with. His name's Lucas and I work with him. And I was like, yes. Like I felt like I just like hit the lottery. Yeah, he took me to Lucas and like that's when it all started. And we just never stopped making music together ever since. That was like 2020. So like 5 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just started doing that. I haven't stopped, and it's been like literally the thing that's been like keeping me happy and alive and like well, you know, amongst everything. Like you have like your projects that you're so passionate about. Like nothing can stop you from focusing on that. Yeah.
No, that's a good point. Like I want to bring it back to something you said earlier that I thought was really, really important. Is like keeping, even if it's not your quote unquote day job, right?
Yeah.
Like keeping a passion for something outside of what maybe you do in like a 9-to-5 setting, because you do need that balance of like, all right, if you are going to go to work, like, you know, all day long, it's like you do need something that you can, I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a passion project. It can be something as simple as like, you know, like my time going to the gym or yoga or spin. Anything. or, you know, I like taking walks after, you know, work or I don't know, whatever, pick your poison, whatever it is. I like to draw, like, you know, I like to make music, you know, like, and that's why like, you know, I was feeling, you know, for a while, like kind of caught up in that too. And that's why I like try to get more into the creative, because again, it was one of those things with like, you know, you have to almost like get over that like imposter syndrome of it, of like, you know, because I always never thought of myself as creative, you know what I mean? Even though deep down I probably was, and
totally
but like,
are.
you know, 100%, but like, you know, but when I was younger, like I didn't have that confidence to be like, all right, I'm creative. No, I'm just an athlete.
Yeah.
I'm just somebody that's gonna go be a teacher, and like maybe you know, like I have like in a leadership role, maybe I can coach and all that sort of stuff. But like, you know, I think that for me, like the competitive nature of that was starting to like really not be great for like my psyche too. So that's why when I started getting into creative stuff, I'm like, like it's like such a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? Like you almost, I was feeling like coaching basketball, playing basketball after work and stuff like that was like not helping my mental health. It was making it worse, because I was like getting in such a like a competitive headspace. And now like as I get into like the more creative side of things, whether it's like
freeing.
Yeah, you get that like there's just more of a fulfillment in it. It's, or not to say that stuff's not fulfilling, but like it's just fulfilling in a different way.
It is.
And you need that outlet, and I think like no matter what it is, like you need that like almost therapeutic outlet, and that can again be, I think, something that would be like more for that feeds your soul. I guess is the best way to put it.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like physical movement's so important for your
of course.
body, but then there's like
And it can be good for your mind too, like the
it's good for
physical
your
activity,
body, so it's good for your mind. But
right.
Whereas like, that when you're tapping into like that part of you that is bringing out something to the world, like it's a different, like you're tapping into your soul, into your spirit more.
100%. I agree with that.
So definitely different.
Yeah. And you kind of answered my next question, which was like, I was really curious about obviously how all the JMC work got into play. So you already touched on that. So I guess I'll ask my second part of that question, which is like how you touched on it a little bit, but how has working with people like Timi and Lucas and Deric and Jiida, and now more recently Rilla, like how is it sort of being ingratiated, maybe even lazy to a degree? Like how is it working with that sort of camp of people? How has that opened up your creativity or helped you as an artist, like from like so when you sort of were starting to get into it versus where you're at
They've like
today?
Shaped me up completely. Like I from start to now, like each and every one of those guys has taught me something. Like literally we were just all together a couple weeks ago in a session, and they're the best. Like they just dedicated pretty much a whole day for me, and we just were making music, making songs, and they really challenged me to like get out of my comfort zone too, and like push my limits and stuff. And like it can be like intimidating sometimes because they've been doing it longer than I have, but I love being around them. I learn so much from literally each and every one of them. They each have their own like specialty too, and it's a blessing. Like I don't take it for granted at all that I have them in my corner, and as long as they let me, like I will like support them to the end, like with everything, whether it's like opening a show for them or just being in the crowd, like knowing every song because I'm like their number one fan. I just being around them, and they've shaped like so much for me in my music career completely.
And they're just like a good group of guys.
They're
really,
the best.
They really are. They were just in here about a month ago as we're recording this. They had their JMC sessions part 2, which was really a huge success here. We had a lot of fun.
So
and
glad they're doing that.
It's been great. Like I've been part of in a way. I've been part of both of the sessions now that they've done, and it's just been such a cool experience to see them in a sort of a different light. You know, I've obviously like my experience with a lot of you guys has been your shows. Like that was really the first introduction I had to all of you. As a whole, I had listened to a lot of your music beforehand, but and then obviously like working on some music with them, and then of course like like having everybody on the podcast, like it's been great. But no, I think seeing them really being like working in action is just like such a different experience, especially Lucas and Rilla, who are just incredible producers and can make the most wild beat in like 10 minutes. It's really insane. And then the range, I think that's important too, like having being people that they are, to have the versatility, like you said, and they're different. Like everyone kind of has a role that they play, but there's such a versatility to like naturally fit some different styles of music. And like you said, there's definitely, I think, a style you have, a staple style, but I've even lately have heard you sort of get out of that a bit.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's really cool that they're able to push you, and probably in the same boat that like I think there's probably a lot of things that you're helping with them that you're not realizing too. So
probably no, like co-creating with them is my favorite thing ever. I love collaborating with them and finding like those people that you mesh with in that, like it's already like you said, like soul opening enough to do it on your own and to like be writing on your own, creating on your own. It's a whole other ball game when you're with other people on the same wavelength and you're doing it all together. That feeling is like no other, and like what comes from it is beautiful, and the fact that we get to like share it to the world, and it's just such a special thing. Like,
it is. Yeah. Well, even the first show I saw you guys at, like that was really, I think, your first like guys show together, and like that for me was like I could just tell there was something there with all of you, and as some of you have gone off on like your little side quests, and but it always just seems like there's always a feeling of like coming back together and working. So that's awesome. I love that. So big shout out to the JMC guys. You guys know I got mad love for all you guys. You know that. You know that. And you're all watching us to varying degrees, I'm sure, whether it's alone or together. But you guys know we got mad love for you here. I want to go back slightly real quick to the musical part. Okay. Being in theater. That's really interesting. So what was it like? What roles did you have in theater, or what do you think maybe you've taken from that time of your life? Like, was it a confidence thing that you feel like maybe was helping you build up in your head there, to get to the point of you like wanting to be an artist? Like, or was there something performative that was helpful? Like, what about that time doing musical theater do you think was like has been the most helpful for like your solo career as you've sort of, dove headfirst into the music?
Yeah. Well, at the time, I had no idea that I wanted to be a performer, like outside of, I wasn't sure, but in the moment, looking back rather, it's helped me get comfortable on a stage. Like, I don't have that stage fright, because of it, because you do it enough times at a young age too, where there's all these people looking at you and all these lights and whatever. In this big stage, and you're like this little small human. That I think has helped with my performance a lot, and definitely confidence. Like when you get on a stage, like you do turn into a not different person, but like you are channeling something else. I feel or a different part of you, and that side of me like comes out. Like that performative side definitely comes out. And I definitely get that from like that musical theater background for sure.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I think that anything like that like is helpful. Like, for example, like for me, like, and it's funny how you look back on those things too now. Like, you don't think of it in the moment as like being super important, but like,
oh my God,
like I took a TV production course for 4 years when I was in high school, and I accidentally like walked into it. I had the freshman year, second semester, I got my schedule, and I had 2 holes in my schedule, like literally just no class there. And so I'm like, that's weird. Like, so instead of like all my friends were joking around, like, oh, you should just take them as free periods. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna screw me over. Is this like me being like the goody two shoes I was, like good kid? I'm like, no, how am I gonna get my transcript in senior year if I just take these off? So I go to my guidance counselor, and he was like, well, the only thing I can put you in is TV production for like one of the courses. And then I think I took gym for the other one or whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'm like, God, I didn't have a PE or whatever. So I was like, all right, whatever. All right, I'll do TV production, whatever. Had no idea what it was. Walked into it, ended up legitimately falling in love with it, to the point where like the teacher there, big shout out to Jim Lombard, who's one of like my absolute mentors in just the creative side of things. But he treated it like a varsity sport. Nice. He had three classes. It went TV 1, TV introductions. Like a lot of seniors would just take that course because like credits, and also because you could like drive off campus and go shoot, and so like people would just abuse it, F around, right? But then there was people like myself who started to take it like kind of serious, and like he would treat TV 1 as like, if I can get some underclassmen in here, who can I mold and maybe bring on forwards? And then he had advanced TV, so I took that as a sophomore. And then TV seminar, which was a full year course. So I took seminar as a junior and a senior, and he almost had like captains of the class and stuff like that. So I ended up becoming like, one of his like right hand men by the time I was a senior. And just like, I would just go on so many cool projects. I mean, I'd help out with like shooting sports events, and we'd do like, a bunch of different styles of video content. And like, at the time, like I didn't realize like how, instrumental that was going to be long term for me, like doing like media and videography and photography that I'm doing now. It's just like, you don't, in the moment you might not think about it being so important, but now you look back and you're like, oh, like all those years of musical theater like have totally, it just speeds up that process, right? To like when you get on the stage now, and I've seen you perform, and it seems like you're just up there, you're doing your thing.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't my first time on a stage. Like, you know what I mean? If it had been my first time, it would have been a completely different thing. Like I was nervous anyways, you know what I mean? So yeah, you don't realize in those moments like how this is like building you towards like your future. And I'm sure we're doing plenty of that right now that we don't see yet. either.
Oh, I'm sure, right? Yeah, it's like because you'll look back, I'm sure, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's really cool, and like there's like so many of those formative moments that like we sometimes take for granted, and just gotta have to
true,
like it's I think it's important to like slow down and reflect
So
on like
true.
those things. So
I'm all
that's why
about that.
that's why I like starting with this segment of the show, because like we kind of can dive back into that a bit,
Yeah.
like
How did we get here?
How did we get here? Right. How did we get to this couch? Right. So cool. I want to move into the main lesson, which is what you got going on now. We got to talk about the latest single, Fallback, and the music video, which I'm super impressed with. Big shout out to Jacob Rodier, who's like, I think one of the better videographers that has been coming out of New England over the last few years. He's done obviously a ton of the work with JMC guys.
Yes.
I mean, so I guess my first question was, well, I got kind of a two-part question. Was how was it working with? I know you've worked with him like adjacently in the past, but never like on a full-fledged music video. Although did you guys? He worked on Fair as well, or was that somebody else?
He didn't work on Fair.
He didn't work on Fair.
Yeah.
So he worked on this one.
We worked on
with you guys.
Fallback.
Okay.
What was supposed to be just a visualizer ended up a full music video on the tennis court. And I'm so glad we took it there because it came out so cool. His editing skills are unreal. And that was probably one of the most fun shoots I did because tennis is fun and you get to shoot balls and stuff, obviously. But it was just me, him, and my cousin Donnie actually like helped out. He was like our assistant that day. It was just us three, nothing crazy or anything.
Huge production crew
No,
or anything like that. Yeah.
Just like a couple of things, very light equipment, and it came out amazing.
So nice.
Yeah.
The color grade on it's incredible.
The
like
color.
the cut
Oh my
just
God.
pops.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I was a huge fan. I'm curious why tennis though. That was my other question.
Yeah.
Because I was really curious because I don't know. I just didn't get it.
It's actually a funny story. Yeah. Well, all right. So me and my other cousin Eva, I was like, hey, let's go and take pictures because she takes pictures, and we were on a tennis court, and she ended up taking the picture that is now the cover photo for that. But when I saw that particular picture, I was like, there's something about this picture I really like, and I like. I felt it fit with the theme of the song because the song is really about going back and forth with someone. So, but I'm just alone on the court, So, and I'm just really going back and forth with myself. So it was like that symbolism that I really, that subtle symbolism that I really wanted to portray. And so I was like, let's take all the visuals there on the tennis court. Yeah.
Came out nice. Very big. We're going to link it in the description, so make sure you guys check it out. The music video and the song are out now on all platforms. Don't go anywhere, though, of course, because we got plenty left with Faybee to go. I do want to transition from the main lesson. I got plenty more to ask in the main lesson, but we do want to obviously transition to a segment we like to call Pop Quiz, which is a segment where we ask our guests rapid-fire questions. Most of them have to do with Faybee or our guest, but not all of them have to do with music. Some have absolutely nothing to do with music whatsoever. Okay. It's just some fun stuff I found out about you.
Okay.
Nothing embarrassing, nothing too crazy. But if you know yourself, you really can't fail.
All right.
So when you hear Pop Quiz, I know it can be triggering for a lot of guests. That was a normal reaction, unfortunately. It's a little triggering, but we're gonna roll with it. All right. So my first question. Yeah. You obviously this is kind of an obvious statement listening to your music, but I know you obviously a lot of your songs are about either breakups or relationship troubles or in something to do with love or an unrequited love or something to that nature. So my first question to you is, what's a breakup song or a love song that you've really connected with in the past, like outside of your own?
The first thing that popped up to my head was Big Girls Don't Cry by Fergie.
Ooh.
Because that's one you listen to when you were really young, and it's a bop, whatever. When you have your first heartbreak and then you listen to that song, you're like, oh my God, I understand everything. So that's the first song, like, Big Girls Don't Cry. You just got to move forward. You got to do you. You got to love yourself, learn who you are before you can, like, take on a relationship. So that's the one.
I felt like that song too was such a pivot for Fergie at the time as well. Like I feel like it was kind of like whoa, Fergie hasn't really made this style of music, so I feel like it was such a moment for her, and then of course the longevity piece of it. So, interesting.
For her to go from like Fergalicious to like
to that, right? Exactly.
Yeah, no,
or glamour, a song like Glamorous, right? Like she had such a more of a pop presence than then you had like a more ballady style, like a Big Girls Don't Cry. No, that's a good one. The first one for me that I remember being very that would hit me home was "Out of My System" by Bow Wow and T-Pain. Have you ever heard of that song?
I feel like I should have.
You maybe
I
have,
probably have.
but that's like it was a bit older. I think it came out when I was in middle
system.
school. Yeah, Out of My System. It was.
I can only wonder what that means.
Yeah, trying to get someone out of their system.
Yeah.
You know, that was basically the lyrics of like, you know, trying to get over them and stuff like that. That was like the first, I think, like breakup song in middle school. I probably was like heartbroken over some random, you know, relationship that wasn't really a relationship because, you know, the middle school ones, they hardly count. But.
So funny.
But yeah, that was a good choice. Yes. Big Girls Don't Cry. My next question for you is tell me about the time you and your friend got chased down by a gang of pedicab drivers in Times Square.
Oh my God. Lucas. He definitely told you about that.
We don't reveal sources on air, so.
That's hilarious.
It could have been Lucas, it might not have been
so
Lucas.
Embarrassing. Okay, so me and my friend, one of my very good friends, we went to New York for, actually, do you know the podcast Shits and Gigs?
I don't think I do, actually.
Well, they're like one of the biggest podcasts ever, and we went to see them in New York, and it was awesome. And after we left, you know, me and her were like, oh, it would be fun if we got on one of those like cabs or whatever, those bicycle whatever cabs, and just rode around Times Square. And then suddenly one approached us. Like, we didn't even do anything. It felt like the universe, you know, in that moment. And so he approached us and he's like, do you want to ride around Times Square? And we were like, oh my God, yeah, we do. So we get on and we're like having the time of our lives. He's playing the best music, the lights and everything. And I'm taking videos and he's like doing twirls around Times Square. He does a lap for about 15-ish minutes. And then he was like, do you guys want to do another lap? And we're like, sure. And
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, and like we know it costs money. It's not like we thought it was for free or anything. We're like, oh, we were talking to each other like we're gonna tip this guy, like, you know. And
oh God.
We're like, hey, we're actually hungry. Can you like stop at this taco spot? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he drops us off and he's like, okay, yeah. So that's $9 a minute. And I was like, huh? Like, what? And I'm trying to do the math in my head because I was like, we've been here for like 37 minutes. Like, comes out to like close to $400 or something. And I was like,
shit.
I panicked. Like, the way my heart dropped. I looked at my friend and I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, we're not about to pay this guy $400 for a 30-something minute ride. That was crazy. And he's like, that's it. It's on my, like, there's like a little piece of paper on the bike that says like $9 a minute. And it's like the smallest writing. Like, you would never see it. And I was like, you're such a scammer. Mm-hmm. So I like pulled out my wallet. I'm playing the game. I'm like, here's all the money I have. I have like $100. My friend pulls out a $50. We give it to him. And we're like, that's all we have. Like, sorry. And he's like, I have Apple Pay. I have Cash App. But I'm like, shit. Like, why do we live in this era now where we have these things? God damn. And we had no other solution in that moment but to run. So we start booking it and he's chasing us. And luckily a guy did approach us and like helped us get into a bar safely. And like the bouncer was like trying to help us out too with this guy because he was trying to follow us into the bar.
Oh, jeez.
It was scary. And we were like, we paid him, but just not enough. We don't have $400. We don't want to pay him $400. They were like, the best thing you should do is like call an Uber and like have the Uber take you back to your hotel. We're like, bet. So we do that, but the cab guy is still there. And we're in an Uber and he is now chasing us around Times Square in the Uber, like banging on the Uber. Like, and we're trying to explain to the Uber driver, this poor Uber driver, like we're trying to explain to him, like, this guy is trying to scam us. Like, we gave him money, but he's like begging us for the rest and please just like safely take us to our hotel room. And he's doing a great job at it. He's like, telling the biker like F off. But he is so persistent to the point where now, as we're moving through Times Square, he's gathering his other biker pals, cat pals around us, surrounding us, closing us off. Like, he's like, now we're holding up Times Square traffic. And I'm just like, what is my life right now? What have I gotten myself into? Like, what do I do in this moment? I'm just like freaking out. It's just like that moment where you're like, really, God, like, why am I, like, what am I supposed to do right now?
It's the manifestation from hell.
Yeah, literally. And
we want a pedicab ride. Oh, here we go. Oh, now I'm in this horrible situation.
Literally. Crazy. And I was like, all I can do is like surrender in this moment. Like, I don't know what to do. And because I have all these guys like banging on this freaking Uber. I'm so sorry about that, by the way. And finally, like, I put the window down and I'm trying to explain to one of the guys, like, we did pay him. Because he's like, you didn't pay. I'm like, no, we paid. We paid. And I'm sure $150 for 37 minutes is a good amount of money in my head, all right? So, like, F off.
Especially when there's no gas money involved. It's a bike,
I'm like,
you know what I mean?
Like
come
really,
on.
guys?
$9 a minute's kind of crazy.
Like, we're talking, like, he's probably chasing us for over, like, 30 minutes.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah.
He could have gone out and got another ride and made more money.
Like, I don't understand the persistence. So finally, like, I'm arguing with this guy and I'm like, no, we paid him. Like, he's lying to you if he's saying like that we didn't give him money. And like, once he figured out that that guy was lying to him at all, he was just like, oh, like, I'm not even going to bother. And they just let us go. So it was just like, it was a spiritual moment for me. Cause I was like, as soon as I was like, really, God? And then, oh, well, whatever, what's going to happen is going to happen. If I have to pay him at the end, it is what it is. And that's when it actually ended.
Oh,
so I was like,
crazy.
And we went straight to our hotel room and did not get out the rest of that night. But yeah.
I can imagine.
It was traumatic.
Yeah. Sure, when Faybee sees a pedicabber nowadays,
I'm all like, scammer.
She turns the other way.
I just feel bad for the guys that are riding in it now because I was in New York the other weekend and I was like, oh, they don't know.
They have no idea.
They don't know.
They're about to get chased down. Well, I'm sure you're not the only one that's maybe had a situation like that.
I'm not, because I saw on TikTok shortly after these girls posted that they just got scammed and it was the same guy.
Oh, there you
go.
Not even kidding. So we know exactly what time it is and with this. So
exactly.
Yeah. So okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Too funny. I know you're a huge fan of like dating shows, Love is Blind, like all that sort of stuff. What's a relationship on Love is Blind that you wish worked out that didn't? On
Love is Blind that I wish worked out that didn't.
I've heard you like know like every single contestant.
I do.
And like you're really like you're a real stan is what I've heard.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. I don't think there's any that like didn't work out that I wish did.
Okay.
But one of the one of the cast members I really liked was Raven.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying them as if I know.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the show, but I'm just gonna.
I think she was in season 4, and she was like one of the contestants she was talking to in the pods. His name is Bartiz. If you know, you know. And she was doing like jumping jacks because you can't see each other. She was working out while they were like he was having the date with her because she's like a Pilates girl. And at that time, like we didn't know that Bartiz sucked, so we were like, what the heck? But looking back, it's like it's so funny seeing her just like not caring about his conversation at all. Like I just love her so much. I still follow her and like keep up with her, but Love is Blind is great. My favorite one is Love Island.
Love Island's your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Is there one on Love Island that you wish worked out that didn't? Or vice versa.
Oh.
I'm curious. I want the tea. I don't watch these shows. So
well, the most recent Love Island, season 6, like blew up to the point where it surpassed like Bridgerton views.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was crazy. All the relationships in there are where they ended up together, they're still together and they're doing a new season with the same cast because it blew up so much this season, like this summer, and I'm so excited. There's a couple, Kaylor and Aaron, that didn't work out. Not that I wish they did, but I'm really interested to see how they're going to be around each other because they ended brutally bad.
And now they're coming back for this next
Yeah.
season. So now, like, I see what you're
So
saying.
I'm like, not really. I'm like, is this gonna be like a Ronnie Sammy moment in Jersey Shore? Like, are they gonna be like back and forth? Like, so I'm really interested to see what happens. So
Interesting.
I'm looking forward to this summer. There's gonna be Love Island US, the new season, Love Island, the reboot of last season, and then Love Island UK. I have a jam-packed summer. I'm so excited.
It sounds like it.
Yes.
This one time I was working out in Cedardale, which is a gym up in Haverhill, and I was sitting in the sauna. This was years ago.
Yeah.
And it was me and two other guys, and one of the guys walked out, and then the other guy that didn't walk out, he turns and looks at me. He goes, "Do you know who that was just sitting in here?" And I go,
Oh my God, who
"No,
was it?
I go, no, I don't. I don't remember his name, but he goes, he was on Love Island." And I was like, oh, okay. So
would've
whatever
known.
dude that's from Haverhill, that was Massachusetts, that was on Love Island. Apparently I was in a sauna with you and you didn't, years ago, and you didn't know it. And I didn't know it either. And I was just like,
so
oh,
cool.
okay. Because not that it's not cool, but I didn't know him. I didn't know who it was. And then the guy
Gosh
got
darn.
a little embarrassed. He's like, oh, okay, well, he was a reality TV star. And I go, oh, all right.
I love that
guess
he
so.
knew though.
He knew. I was like, yeah.
He's watching it with his girlfriend now.
I'm sure he was. What's your Mount Rushmore of like reality shows? It seems like you like reality shows. Like, what are your top 4 like favorite reality shows of all time? If you like had to
Favorite
pick.
reality shows. Ooh, there's so many good ones. Okay, I love Love Island.
Okay, Love Island.
I love Too Hot to Handle.
Okay,
A lot of them are dating shows. I just started watching Inside, which is really good.
okay, I'm not familiar with
with
that.
the Sidemen.
Oh, I know the Sidemen.
Yeah.
The UK dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what's the guy's name? KSI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's actually really
I've seen
good.
their
It's-
thing. Their thing's funny.
They have a season on Netflix now.
Oh, they do?
yeah.
All right, interesting.
It's really good.
I know they had that YouTube channel, or they have had that YouTube channel for quite a while.
I was like trying to think of something not love related.
Okay.
But
All right, so Inside.
Love is Blind.
Okay, and Love is
You
Blind.
have to.
Very cool.
Very
cool. I was historically not a reality TV guy, but I like the competition ones. I'm
Yeah.
a big Survivor fan.
Okay, I didn't get into Survivor.
Survivor's my jam.
But,
Our
okay.
jam, I should say.
Okay.
Me and my fiance, we
Aw.
rip. It's like a tradition.
Yes.
Wednesday night is Survivor night. We love Survivor. And then the other one I just watched, I just binged, is really good on Hulu. It's called Got to Get Out.
Okay, I haven't seen
It's
that
like 20 people that are
Okay.
trapped in a house, and basically like the money just starts ticking up, and they get what's called like escape plans or whatever. They get I think it's called like escape plan or whatever, and only a handful of them every round get an escape plan, and the goal is like if you can escape the house without being detected, you basically take the pot of money. And then it goes back to zero, and then people start over. And but there's
Dang.
only $1 million to get. But if they all don't
Okay.
escape, and they all just stick it out for when it hits $1 million,
split it?
all 20 split it.
Interesting.
But it's like, do I stick around and
I
play
love
defense so that way I can at least walk out with like, whatever it is, like 40, 50 grand? Or do I risk it, be on the offense, and try to go and steal the money when it gets to a certain?
I love stuff like that.
Super interesting plot line and all that.
Inside's kind of like that.
Is
You would
that-
like
is it similar?
I
Cool.
like Big Brother. I like stuff like that.
I never really watched
Yeah.
Big Brother, but I've heard good things about Big Brother.
Yeah.
The other one we watched a lot too that we really liked was The Mole.
I
was on
would
Netflix.
like The Mole,
The Mole's
but I haven't
fantastic.
seen it yet.
I
Yeah.
like that one.
Yeah.
Highly
I
recommend
love
it.
stuff like that.
Highly recommend it. Oh, and then we love Traders.
Traders. I was just gonna say I just started.
We love
I
Traders.
just started that season, so I haven't like gotten into it yet. But I know I'm gonna like.
Oh,
fall
Traders
in
is
love with it.
fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
Super
I'll keep
good.
watching.
Yeah. Traders
Yeah.
is awesome. Alan Cummings is like
Yes.
his character. And I would say character because he does portray
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
different
Yeah, that is a
persona on the
character,
show. Oh my god, it's like when are you faithful?
Yes.
It's like it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
That shit's intense.
I love Traders.
It's awesome. Traders is a good one. Cool. My next question to you is I saw a tweet from you pretty recently that you were like, I really want a Chuck E. Cheese pizza right now, which was really funny to me because like I know like in my head I can taste and like feel the texture of a Chuck E. Cheese pizza in my mouth because of just the nostalgic
smell,
piece of
yeah.
it. The smell, right? All of it.
Oh my god.
So I'm curious, what's one other thing from growing up in the 90s that you feel like you miss the most that like, kids growing up in this era maybe don't like think about or know about?
Maybe like like a Lunchable.
Lunchables, yeah.
Like they're so gross, and I look at them now. I'm like, ew.
Why did we ever think they were good?
I don't know.
Because I look at it, yeah. If a lot of the kids don't eat them now. I feel like I've at least like working in schools, like I don't see them as much.
Yeah,
but
thank God.
when I have, I look at it and I'm like, why did I ever like? Because I used to beg my mom to get Lunchables, and she'd be like, no. I'm like, why did I ever think those were good?
I don't know.
Unless they maybe used to be better. I don't know.
Maybe it's the activity of it, like putting things together,
Yeah.
like that I liked so much, but like.
Nah, just not great.
I still want a Lunchable so bad. Like
Same. I don't know why I was so hell-bent on wanting Lunchables. So shout out to my mom who like stood her ground on that. Hot Pockets were terrible too.
They were terrible, but I loved them.
Those for me, it was the Totino's pizza rolls. Those were like legends.
I still love. I'll F up some pizza rolls right now.
Yeah. I make my homemade ones now. Actually, I make them with those Joseph's flatbread wraps, and I cut them, and you like just stuff them with whatever you want.
Pepperoni.
And then pepperoni, some cheese, throw them in the air fryer, a little seasoning like garlic powder seasoning on top. Throw them in the air fryer for like 5 minutes, and they're really good, and they're a little bit more bigger volume. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little hungry too. So maybe we'll wrap this up. No, only kidding. That was my last question of pop quiz, but great job, you killed it.
Awesome.
A+ for Faybee. Thank you. Yeah. I had some fun. Those were fun questions. We like to get out of the music part for a little bit. You know what I mean? It's fun talking music, but then you gotta talk about some fun '90s stuff. Obviously, Love Island, even though it's not really my flavor, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Anyway. Back to some other singles you've dropped recently. Fair with l.ucas, which is a really fantastic song. And Thank God, which is one of my favorite ones you've put out fairly recently. I'm just curious, like, oh yeah, me too. Big fan. And, and I've obviously loved writing for you over the years when you've reached out to me to do that. So I really appreciate your support, you believing and supporting me to do that. My biggest question to you is, I think you've really improved in the area of songwriting. Like from when I first heard your music to now, I just feel like the writing is just getting so much better. So like, what do you like attest to that? Or what do you think has been like the thing or the entity or the reason? Is it just getting reps in, or is there some other factor that you think has really just like, I think really improved your songwriting substantially since you started making music?
Co-writing.
Writing
with other great writers. Like I said, it's great. Sometimes like I'll write my own song and it comes out great. Like, but there's nothing like writing with another amazing writer. Or writing something and then having another writer listen to it and be like, this is great. Why don't we switch this or switch that? And then it becomes even better. I think writing with l.ucas, writing with Jiida especially.
He's such a good songwriter.
He's an incredible
they both are.
songwriter.
I don't want to say that l.ucas isn't, but like in terms of like, it seems like Jiida likes that role of sitting
really
back.
Like, in my opinion, like his niche and like his greatest quality is honestly his writing, and it's so good and so creative, and just the different melodies that he comes up with and everything too, in his delivery and everything like that. So that's what I would say. Just like writing with other great writers. I think that's something a lot of artists need to hear. Like write with other people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worked out for you clearly, because I think the music you're making is like, I always liked
besides
it.
like practicing and getting better.
Of course.
But it's like,
of course,
that just comes with doing it. But like when you're open to, my goal is always make the best product. I don't care like
who gets the credit.
Yeah,
like,
that doesn't matter.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, because I just feel like, like I said, like early on, I always liked your music, but I just feel like it has leveled up so much in the last,
true.
I think the stuff you put out really in the last calendar year feels to me like another step up. Or a couple steps up at least of what you were doing, and it's just like it's showing, showing in the visual, it's showing in just the way in which the song sounds. Like all of it just really feels like it's coming together for you. So
appreciate that.
No, 100%, it's really good. So we'll link all those songs in the description as well. Make sure you check out her catalog. Fayebee's got some awesome music.
Sweet.
My next question in the main lesson is your background in social media marketing. I know that's like, obviously you said you went for communications and you worked in that field for a long time. So I guess what I'm curious about is how that angle of your life has also impacted, your solo career in terms of music and thinking about like how you want to market your music. Like, has that helped at all? Or is it maybe one of those things where it gets a bit more difficult to like, I don't know what exactly you were doing in your day job and what type of social media marketing you're doing, but like, were there some certain strategies that you felt like were useful and helpful to bring over to like the music side? I guess I'll start there.
It's definitely been helpful in a lot of ways. Like when I got into doing social media for like music studios, I learned a lot just from being in that environment, how to do my own personal stuff, and how to like run a decent ad campaign is just like one thing, and that actually works. And not just that, you just learn how to be a little more confident when you're posting and not care so much and not just put so much pressure on a post or something. Like it just is what it is. Like put it out. You have something to put it out. Don't shy away from it. And maybe like doing social media for others did kind of make it overwhelming to do it for me too, because now you have like several accounts that you're like responsible for, and it got a little tricky to do that, but now with like, I feel like I'm gained so much knowledge and I've absorbed so much experience doing that over the years. I've gotten so much more confident, and I just recently like made a whole new music account on TikTok.
Oh, no kidding.
And like just like trying different strategies, and it's going really well. Like I don't know, just like doing. You got to kind of think outside the box a lot of the times. And I kind of did this like stupid photo slide of, do you remember, George Lopez show?
I think so. George Lopez show.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember the George
his
Lopez
daughter
show.
and George Lopez, I forgot her name, Carmen Lopez. Okay. I just did like a stupid a lethal face card that no one talks about enough, and like posted her, and it blew up. I got like 2 million views.
No
so it's
kidding.
like,
oh my God.
I put my song in the background.
Oh, smart.
So you just do like, you just got to be creative sometimes. Like not every song you make is a viral moment song. So you gotta have to be creative with how you're like putting your music out there. Some songs you do make are gonna have those viral liners and like those things that just hit you right in that moment, but sometimes you got to be a little sneaky.
That's interesting. Well, I'm so glad you said that, because my next follow-up question was, what's like a strategy you've either tried or want to try?
There you go.
That you hadn't yet, but that's perfect. I like that. That's actually a good gem for people to like. Hey,
doesn't always have to be about your song. Just like put it in the background of some really cool like other content that's working.
And maybe somebody will be like, "Oh, the content's
not completely unrelated, but
no, for sure. But maybe I'm connecting with the content, but also, but maybe the song sounds good too. Maybe actually check out the song, right?
And it works.
Yeah, instead of you just like in front of the camera, maybe like lip syncing your song or whatever. Like, that probably won't. And that's not just you. It's, I think a lot of independent artists are trying to figure that like fine line of like, how do I do content like that, but also like get the song to hit as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And this sort of like ether of the internet and social media.
Just
it can
gotta
be such
experiment and not be afraid. And I do better on TikTok, honestly. Like I just see more success on there, but a lot of people are seeing a lot of success on Instagram too. So you just have to.
YouTube Shorts has been my thing that's been working.
I gotta just dedicate more time to it, honestly, because it does hit sometimes.
Yeah, it really. I feel like the podcast content I do does typically pretty well on the YouTube. On YouTube Shorts for whatever reason. I do have some clips that do fairly well on. They'll get a few thousand or maybe like 10,000 on or whatever on TikTok. And Instagram is just more or less like, I think at this point, at least for me, like it does decently well in the community. Photo. But like in terms of like virality, it's not like really a thing. But I think too, like what I've started to realize about social media, just from a general standpoint, is like not taking it overly serious.
Exactly.
And just being like, all right, like, like I just made like a new account too on Instagram for just like, again, I'm not like promoting it a ton, but it's just kind of like, like for any like video and photo work I do. I kind of want something. Like I have all this stuff like work I have on my phone, and I have it posted in like various different places. But I'm like, I would love to just have like a page that just kind of has like my portfolio of like stuff I've done, just to have like for myself, for nothing else other than just myself. You know what I mean? And just sort of you know. But I think like not taking it as like super serious. And like, oh my God, this only got like 20 likes. Like whatever. Who cares?
Whatever.
Who cares? What's going on with you in terms of like any sort of music you have coming out later this year? Any other like anything else you maybe are working on that you're willing to share? You know, without obviously maybe you want to keep some things private, which I totally understand. But is there anything else coming out like the rest of the year that you're feeling like you want to talk about? Share?
Yeah, I have a song coming out really soon, actually, on the 23rd, I believe, of May.
Oh, nice. So this will actually be out after that, I think, or maybe right around the time. So like this maybe will be out now or very close to depending upon when this drops.
It's called Sweet.
Okay.
And it is a love kind of song that I wrote during a time where I didn't have like anyone in my life, and I wanted to like kind of channel that energy of like what it feels like when you do find someone that is really solid, and that like honeymoon feeling in that beginning, like oh my God, like I can't believe like it's here. And it is more of a physical feeling too, and like all sorts of emotions. So that's what that's about. And I have like a couple of cool like reel videos and stuff for it. Nothing like, not a full music video, but like I'm really excited to finally share that one to the world because I wrote it like 2 years ago.
Heck yeah.
So just want to get it out because I love listening to it, and it's great energy and like very sensual and beautiful. So yeah, I'm excited to share it.
Well, sweet. We'll also, if that one's out now, we'll definitely link in the description. If not, it'll be out very soon.
Yes.
As this episode is aired. So,
yes.
Faybee, this has been an awesome episode. I've really enjoyed talking to you. And again, we've known each other for a while, so it's like this is kind of an easy thing to just chat here. Totally. But just to finally sit down and actually like do an episode with you. Like it's been a while. It's been really great. It's
been such a pleasure.
Yeah. We can't get rid of you quite yet because we have our last segment of the show, which is called the open response. And the open response we do is called the dream song scenario. So I'll structure it for you. You get a song. It's a Faybee song. You can have any artists and producers on that song, dead or alive. You get up to 2 producers and up to 3 guest features. Who would be on Faybee's dream song scenario? I'll give you as much time as you need.
2 producers.
Up to 2. You don't have to use all 2 or all 3, but that's kind of we'll cap it at that.
That's tough. I think for artists, like a cool dream collab would be like Janae Aiko.
Ooh.
With
I think your voices would sound nice together.
Oh my God, I love her so
Janae
much.
Aiko. Love it.
Such a good influence. Her actually. I was like her.
Oh, her, yeah.
Her would be. Oh my God, yeah. That would be like a dream collab. And maybe like Alina Baraz.
Oh, that'd be that's an interesting one.
Yeah. I wanted to pick something not like super obvious, but someone I love. Yeah. I love her music so much, and
brings a little different vibe to to Janae and her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But still kind of R&B, and so something could come out of that. Producers, oh my gosh. Trying to think, who would I don't know why I'm blanking. You know what? No, I'm not gonna say that. Sheesh. I would like the first person on my mind is honestly Kato. I'm like, that'd be really cool.
I wonder how he would do with like.
I could do like a. Well, maybe not with all of us.
No. Yeah. I think he'd be interested in doing. Yeah,
I love his stuff.
His stuff's great.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it'd be almost a challenge for him in that realm of like working with all you women to like. It. I think he could.
He could.
All right.
Yeah.
Faybee featuring her, Alina Baraz,
and
Janae Aiko, produced by Kato. I think it would be a smash hit. Definitely be quite a sultry, R&B
It
pop
would,
smash
it
is
would.
what I think it would be.
That's a good way to put
I think
it,
that's
yeah.
I think that's great great dream song there.
Yeah.
We'll manifest it. So, Kato, if you're listening, start arranging it. And
Yes.
I'll look it. Well, Faybee, this has been awesome. Really appreciate
you
you coming
so
down.
much. I appreciate
And
you.
last that you can do is just plug away. Let the people
True.
know where they can find you. Anyone else you want to shout out? Now would be the time.
Yeah, shout out JMC, Lucas, Timi O, Jiida, Rilla, Deric, all them. And yeah, you can find me on Faybee Music, Faybee Music on TikTok, on Instagram. That's kind of where I'm focused right now. And then check out my videos on YouTube, Faybee Music for Fair and Fallback. And watch out for Sweet on May 23rd.
Love it. Love it. And if you're a fan of Faybee just being introduced to us for the first time, you can find us at Turntable Teachers on Instagram and TikTok. You can hit up our website, turntableteachers.com, for all the latest. And of course, if you're an artist, podcaster, or content creator of any kind, make sure to check us out at awaystudios.org to book your session or service. Today, once again, Faybee, so great that we got to do this, and best of luck for the rest of the year. Excited for Sweet and the visualizers and what you got the rest of the year. So, like I said, make sure you guys check out all of Faybee's links in the description before you head out and, find another video to watch, I'm sure, or podcast to listen to. Definitely check out some of her music. You will not regret it. So,
Awesome.
Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. As always, I'm Mike. That's Faybee with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed. Turntable teachers.